It is still quite early in the game,
Exactly.
and we are in the middle of summer holidays yet for a lot of people.
Right.
And even those that we want to solicit for future business, they are still in that summer holiday mode. So I think Kelly's right when we talk about financial institutions and other large corporate entities that want to foster entrepreneurship and intelligence in investing and just the sheer excitement of what it is we're doing. I think that once that starts to generate, then perhaps we'll have a little bit more than $500 to work with. The $500 is a challenge in itself because you've got your long-term and short-term investments, and you can only use 50% for each.
Right.
And so to determine how you advance the next pennies and dollars is probably going to be one of the largest challenges.
We've identified exactly what you've talked about as being one of the most difficult things about this is the first, what do you do with that first $500? We worked it out. If you were to double the amount of money you have in the bank every time you touched it, it would take 11 touches to get to $1 million. So are you guys kind of working on that concept, like try to double it every time, or just a little bit here, a little bit there?
I think one of the key things that we've been working on is that we'd like to find a way that we don't necessarily have to outlay money every time
exactly.
we want to invest.
Right.
There's got to be an element of passive return, especially for one of our long-term investments. Something that can start carrying us through while we focus on other avenues, being entrepreneurial. For instance, when we came in the building, I put a for sale sign on Peter's car. So we're hoping to at least make something of that.
A couple $100 there.
It was one of our clandestine meetings that you didn't know anything about.
Right.
So I know that you mentioned earlier, nice people can finish first. And I know that one of the reasons that you all agreed to be part of the Race to $1 Million is not just what's in it for each of you individually and what's in it for your businesses, but also each of you has a very large sense, and I get it from you all the time, of wanting to give back to the community, wanting to have, excited about the social responsibility aspect of what we're doing. And I know that I personally would like to hear a little bit more about your charity of choice, and I think everybody else would as well. So maybe if somebody could speak to the charity of choice that you guys have chosen.
Well, we're working with BC Children's Hospital. For me, both my kids were born there, and it was an incredible experience. I know for Guy, his one son was ill and had to have the BC Children's Hospital, and without them, it could have been a totally different outcome. So, and BC Children's Hospital does such incredible work, and not just in Vancouver, where the main hospital is, but they're linked through the entire province. So, children everywhere in BC benefit from from their work, and they're linked as well with children's hospitals across Canada. So their research, their development, their building, their linkage with hospitals across British Columbia is critical. And there's and it's just I think it's a great charity to work with, and we're really excited to give them a check for a couple $100,000.
Yeah, Greg, you've been kind of the intermediary here between BC Children's Hospital and what we're doing at Race to $1 Million and with Team Matrix. Could you pull the curtain back a little bit on what their focus is these days, or what your interactive goals are with BC Children's Hospital?
Well, I certainly echo John's comments. I mean, they're looking for obviously higher profile all the time and more events to bring more name recognition and to bring more funding into their pool. So I think that's what they look for us to achieve for them. And they're certainly excited to be on board with us.
Good.
So it's been great working with them.
We got a link on race2million.ca.
Absolutely. On the team page for Team Matrix, you can click on the link to BC Children's Hospital and the Foundation for BC Children's Hospital.
We've got a page on our site as well with a big outline of the BC Children's Hospital with links and a lot more information about what they do and how to get hold of them if you need them. And so, yeah, there's a huge benefit to finding out more about what they do.
Yeah, you got it. So racetoamillion.ca is our main page. On there is the Teams tab. Go to Team Matrix and get there, and we'll be able to check out all the other teams as well. One of the things that, while we've got you all here, that I'm kind of interested in hearing about from a strategic point of view is the little bit of money that you're starting with and what that's going to do to your strategies as you move forward. Do you see yourselves, Peter, perhaps getting more bold as the bank account gets a little bit bigger? Maybe take a few more risks as the numbers get a little larger?
Taking a look at my hair, you will know that probably bold at my age is not an adjective that I'd like to use when it comes to investing. So I'm hoping that bold will not be part of our strategy. But then again, that doesn't mean that we won't come up with innovative ways of doing our investing. Okay, boldness. What do they talk about? Pilots. There's bold pilots and there's careful pilots, but the careful pilots are the ones that are still alive.
Well, there's
Something
old
like
pilots and there's bold pilots, but there's no old bold pilots.
That's right.
That's the
Yeah. I knew it was in there somewhere.
But Kelly, it's really the bank balance is gonna end up playing a critical factor in your decision in what you're doing. Do you see bigger numbers being
well, I
easier
think
to do?
as Greg sort of alluded to, we're going to have to try and find some things initially that possibly are not going to be an outlay of money, so that we can maybe bring in a little bit, and it may not be a large amount initially, but as that begins to grow, then I think we can start looking a little bit more boldly. Not outrageous, but just, we do have a certain portion that we can do some relatively comfortable investments with, and we've got pieces that we can maybe be a little bit more daring. But I think initially we really need to figure out how we're going to bring in something else over and above that we can work with.
And so what is that? Is it all about the advertising on the website right now? Is that your strategy?
We have other ideas.
We've got some retail options as well that we're going to look into. We've got to sit down as a team and weigh up the risk factors and the worthiness of products and that sort of thing. But I think once we get that sort of thing underway, we can give a little bit more feedback.
Okay. Another thing you have to remember is that we haven't really had a meeting since the start of the race.
Right.
So we haven't really put our
Not
collective.
a complete one, because there's always been the vacation
So
factors.
we
Yeah,
have
Kelly.
to collectively sit down and discuss our strategy in the future also.
Yeah.
I can see the race for $1 million. We're going to have to come up with some innovative ways of communicating with each other on a regular basis, because I can see that it's going to take considerable time on the part of all of us, and that we're certainly not going to be able to drive to meetings all the time.
Yeah.
So we may have to call upon the IT people, the experts, on how we can best communicate in the future.
There you go.
A little bit of teleconferencing.
Yeah, well,
or-
that's part of what I'm thinking.
Hey, how about smoke signals?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, here in Kamloops.
Yeah,
that's
here in
great.
Kamloops.
we could do that right
Easy
now,
to
but-
do.
We've got a good one up there right now.
Yeah, in case anybody doesn't know, our whole province is on fire these days.
And it's not just because the show is really hot.
Well, there's actually some natural forces at work here.
I heard on the radio yesterday that they were getting traces of our smoke from British Columbia in New England.
No way.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Really?
I heard
Yeah.
Saskatchewan
I did
and
hear that.
Manitoba, but
Yeah.
boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Edmonton was asking the province of British Columbia to shut the smoke machines off.
Yeah.
And on behalf of our friends at Tourism Kamloops, please do come to town.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's been a little tough at the end of the summer here in Supernatural BC. So, thanks for coming in, guys. It sounds like the creative process has started, and you're getting the Matrix machine moving with the back end of the website and some more concepts. You guys all up to the challenge? No worries.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah.
Any teams
Absolutely.
other teams that are particularly concerning you?
I've got a bit of a
Oh,
comment
no.
for Team Nexus, actually.
Uh-huh.
I noticed Darth Vader and all the Dark Knights there, the dark helmets and that up on their site, and I was curious. I'd love to pose them a question.
Okay.
with it being a social media exercise, an experiment, is there a true benefit to being anonymous? How are you going to gain voters' confidence?
That's a very good question. Well, Team Nexus, what about it?
There's your challenge, your question.
Yeah.
If we can ever get him on camera, we might be able to get the answer for you. Yeah, I mean,
Hopefully not.
yeah.
Are these the people you were telling me about that are on their site wearing Darth Vader helmets and diapers?
That's
Very one.
Now the trash talk.
It's not true. There's no diapers at all. They're completely naked except for their helmets. All right, Gareth Maudsley, Kelly Auld, Peter Grauer, John Wolder, Greg Murray. Thanks for coming in, guys. Pete, you got any final questions? Closing
Is there
thoughts?
anything else that you guys would like the viewing audience at home and at their businesses that are watching this when they shouldn't
Well, they
be?
have an opportunity to vote for their favorite team, and
And that favourite team, Team Matrix, is the highest votes at the moment. So
Yes.
keep voting for us. We're thrilled to have you, and we'd like to stay in the lead.
And give us your investment ideas, and give us your ideas, because we want to make some money with you.
Yeah.
And it's all based in Kamloops, and this is why we're doing it in the first place, is because we have a confidence that Kamloops is the place to be as a business center, and this is just the start.
This is one way to do it. Outstanding. Closing thoughts?
Team Matrix, everybody.
I'm Dean, he's Pete. We'll introduce you to Team Alpha in our next video. Thanks for tuning in.
That's it for this week. Don't forget to hit us up at racetoamillion.ca.
Morning. I'm Gareth Maudsley. I'm the Vice President of Sage Information Technologies and Vestige Systems. And I've gone totally blank.